You have to like believe in your own ability to solve problems. If you don't think like, okay, I have enough skill and whatever comes at me, I can solve this. If you don't believe that, really, then you're probably going to lay back on your fear and you're not going to go after it.
My name's Zach. This is Marcus. We're Science of Jiu-Jitsu Academy out of New Orleans. Checkmat affiliate. Been here for 3 years. Opened 2020 of October.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's just a bad jiu-jitsu gym around in the New Orleans metropolitan area. In the last 3 years, we've clearly taken over. I don't know if you can see the back wall that well or not, but I think we just kind of have come out and crushed it and shown like what jiu-jitsu can do.
I've gotten to know you guys a little bit. I've gotten to know Zach a lot more because we've working with us reffing. You guys have been a part of AGF for sure in the Southeast, but I've never heard the story as to why you two you paired up. You decided, were you guys training partners before? Then you were like, hey, let's open a gym. Tell us the story of the start of the Science of.
So me and Zach have known each other for a long time. It started like we did Taekwondo at the time, like in different parts of the state. We would see each other all the time at tournaments and knew each other around the way like that. And then we went to a jiu-jitsu camp. It was like a 5-day, hey, learn how to do jiu-jitsu kind of fucking dumb camp, right? And we spent like 5 days doing that stuff, and then we would like meet up when we got back. And we're like, dude, this is awesome. And the UFC was like around and stuff at the time, but like we were like, okay, this is where it's at. And so we would train in his garage on like some puzzle mats. The garage door open in the sun and just like try and kill each other for a couple hours. And then he found an MMA joint and was like, dude, they got like real jiu-jitsu over here. You gotta come train. By today's modern jiu-jitsu standards, it was good, but it wasn't like today's jiu-jitsu, right? And so it was like, oh wow. And we started fighting together, and that's when we really got kind of tight. We started doing MMA. And I think I've been doing jiu-jitsu almost 15 years now, and nobody has been as dedicated. I mean, we've been training partners for a long time, and we've gone from different gyms and different phases of life and stuff, and seen each other grow. And so I was like, man, I always knew I wanted to open a gym, right? I always wanted to do that, and I waited till I got my black belt. And once I got that, I was like, okay, let's do it. And who better than? So I proposed it to Zach, like, hey man, I don't think anybody loves jiu-jitsu like I love jiu-jitsu more than you, and nobody's gonna be as dedicated and 100% is paid off, right? And so he was like, yeah, man, that sounds cool, right? And so I'm talking about all this different stuff, and he's like, I don't see what you see, but you fucking sound excited about it. Like, yes, that sounds great. And it was like 2020, like in spring in 2020. Like, actually, it was winter. Because I was talking about this like in the beginning of the year, and then like everybody went COVID crazy, and we were like, okay, well,
Yeah, right before COVID.
yeah,
Right before COVID.
and
So thankful we didn't open during COVID.
yeah. It kind of did, right? We waited till the summer, like when kids started to go back to school. I was like, "Hey, bro, it's getting back to regular. Like, let's go now. Like, let's strike while the iron's hot, right?"
Yeah.
And so we opened. We actually signed a lease in in August, and then we opened in October. And by December, I think we had something like 80 members. Like in the first just couple of months, people just wanted to get out. They wanted to, And I remember people coming going like, "Hey, what's your COVID rules?" And I was like, listen, we're Americans, so like, wash your hands, like don't sneeze on me, don't come to the gym if you're sick, like common sense, right? And we're like, oh, okay, yeah, and just it blew up. And here we are now. We just moved into a 5,000 square foot building and in January, and like you said, we've only been open like 3 years, and just only growing. It's awesome. It's been pretty awesome.
You guys are both fathers of kid competitors as well too. Tell me a little bit about your nerve-wracking journeys with coaching your kids. I see you guys coaching at AGF. I know you also have a team going to the first Kids Jiu-Jitsu Worlds. Just expand upon a little bit of your kids program and being parents. I know both of you sweat bullets on the side when your kids competing, as do I, but just touch on it a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. So my daughter's a gray belt. She's been competing since we opened. A little bit before. She competed a little bit before she trained jiu-jitsu a little bit before we opened. But just like anybody, it's a tough journey for your kid, especially getting smashed at the beginning. I think watching your kid learn jiu-jitsu is hard for a parent. We've been able to piggyback off of each other. That's a good thing about having a partner, man. We've been able to help each other and rely on each other a lot, especially with our kids. Yeah. Definitely we've taken, we're like, hey, you coach her, and then I'll coach him, and we coach each other's kids. Yeah. And that way it helps where we can still be parents too, right? That's very important, I think, between both of us, is not losing that parent role between our kid. Right, we definitely want to be more nurturing and more like, right, and help them be there for after they get smashed or they lose or they get submitted, right? Rather than being the coach of, oh, you should have done this and you should have done that, right? I think that's very important. We've been able to help each other a lot with that. But I think because we're so passionate about the kids and we have our kids program does very well. Yeah. I think that's one of our best programs. Like you said, we're bringing, I think, 12 kids to Kids Worlds. Mm-hmm. We got a sponsorship for them. We got two sponsorships for them. We got them all gis, everything going out.
Yeah, custom rash guards, custom shorts, all that stuff. It's going to be, they're coming to kill, and they're going to look good doing it. So just be ready. So yeah, you've got to teach your kid and still like try and preserve and be a parent. So that's definitely a benefit, like you said, of having both of us. Because there have been times where like my son just didn't, he was like, mad at me for whatever reason. I'm like, Zach's gonna coach you for a little while, dude. Because like I always give parents the advice, hey, when they finish class or when they finish training or they finish competing, hey man, I love watching you compete. I love watching you train. It's so great. And nurture that and foster it, and don't make the car ride home like terrible. However, that's a very difficult thing for us because we never get to kind of just do that. We have to almost let them just be entirely. And so that's difficult. And I'll tell you, I made a post last weekend. We did the tournament, and it never gets easier. You learn ways to deal with it. But I made a post last weekend. It was like 5 years later, and I'm still more nervous than ever before his first match. Like, that just doesn't go away. Yeah. So, yeah, it's tough. You have no control over them. You have to just let them live their life.
Are you guys full-time jiu-jitsu instructors, or you do any other type of 9 to 5 during the week, or are you guys full-time jiu-jitsu?
So he's full on. I have another business, so I operate it's not even close. I operate a completely separate business and I have a home inspection company, and then I come and do this pretty much every day of the week. But this dude's like all the time.
So are your kids here 5-6 days a week with you then?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. And so with adults, you guys just opened up over here, and what would you consider this a part of New Orleans? What section of New Orleans is this?
Harvey? Yeah, so this is considered, to locals, this would be called the West Bank because we're on the west side of the Mississippi, so everybody calls it the West Bank. And so that's where we're at. We're located probably about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes from downtown, depends on traffic.
You guys look like you're doing pretty well in terms of student base and not just quality of jiu-jitsu, but having students, a good facility, nice looking facility, merchandise, that kind of stuff. What kind of advice do you have for new people opening a gym? A lot of people want to open a gym these days, of course, then they realize that entrepreneurial world is not as fast and easy to money as they think it is. You have any advice for guys opening up a new jiu-jitsu school?
Pull the trigger. Oh, do it. Yeah. No, advertisement I think is key, man. That's your bread and butter to business. Yeah, you can sell merch and all that's good. It definitely puts extra money in your pocket. But how you get the dollar is the person through the door. If people don't know where you're at, they don't know how to get to you. That's your main problem right there. So advertise. That's the biggest thing I would tell any new gym owner is you got to advertise.
Yeah, if you can't get it to you, that's half the battle. People have to know your business exists. Somebody told me a long time ago that a business is like a child, right? You have to feed it so it can grow, right? How do you feed it? You feed it members, you feed it dollars, right? In this sense, so 100%. Advertising is one. He said something about pulling the trigger. Don't be afraid to fail forward, right? Like I find when I talk to people about entrepreneurship, they're like want to have everything figured out before they start doing it, have all their primary, secondary plans. Like, yes, you can plan for a lot of stuff. Some stuff you just have to figure out. Like you have to believe in your own ability to solve problems. If you don't think okay, I have enough skill and whatever comes at me, I can solve this. If you don't believe that, really, then you're probably going to lay back on your fear and you're not going to go after it, right? You have to attack the objective and be confident in your ability to like overcome whatever comes in front of you.